Okay guys, we are on our next tutorial, and our next tutorial is, today we're gonna look at tools of the trade. We're gonna create tools within the game and learn what they actually do. So first, you might be saying, one second, please. Okay guys, let me start over. This tutorial is going to be about tools of the trade. We're going to create tools within the game and learn about what they actually do. We are going to get the items we need to make them. We're going to make them, and then we're going to put them to use at least once. So the first thing that we're going to need is we're going to need to open up our inventory with the eye, and we'll see that the only thing that we have is food. Well, we can't do anything with the food other than eat it and drop it, so that's not going to help us create anything. What's the first thing that most people need? Well, to make anything you need some sort of axe or pickaxe or a knife, and so on and so forth. So the first thing you need is wood. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna sprint over here using the shift and the W key, and we're gonna get ourselves some branches or some wood. So right clicking it, of course we can't cut it down, because when we try to cut it down it gives us this message that you need a proper tool, hatchet, for that action. So we can't cut it down with our bare hands. So the only other thing that we can do is to get wood. Sprouts aren't wood, and bark's not exactly wood. So we're going to need to snap a branch. So we'll right click snap a branch to make it our default, click it once, and then we will watch as we loot up some twigs. There's our first branch. If we right click on it, it says, it gives us different commands. We have create primitive tools, fishing, create a snare, or drop. So we're creating tools in this tutorial, so let's create primitive tool. Alright. So in this box, this is our menu on what we can create with branches. So if we click the drop down, we have primitive sickle, shovel, hammer, axe, pickaxe, saw, torch, primitive fishing pole, sling, primitive cup, primitive crucible and stick, whatever that is, and primitive knife, and a primitive cooking pot. So let's get ourselves an axe, because we need to be able to cut down this tree. I mean, how are we going to cut down the tree if we don't have an axe? We've already tried. It says we need a hatchet. So an axe is a type of hatchet. It says that when we click on it, we need one branch, which we have, one flintstone, and 2 wild plant fibers. So our next thing is we need to go get some flintstone, and we need to go and get some wild plant fiber. 2 and 1. So let's go ahead and close this down, and let's look for some fiber. To get fiber, all you have to do is right click the ground. Right click any grassy area and you can get fiber. So we right click, we go to Nature's Lore, and we gather plant fiber. Sometimes you succeed at gathering, sometimes you do not succeed at gathering. So don't think that you'll get it on your first try. We did not get it on our first try, but we can try it again. Let's set it to default. I was doing snare on accident. So gather plant fiber. Let's see if we succeed. Nothing there. Let's move over to a different spot. Gather plant fiber. Nothing there. So we'll go again. We'll find another spot. Nothing there either. So we're going to keep trying until we get ourselves some plant fiber, because we need 2 pieces. There's our first piece of wild plant fiber. If we right click it, it doesn't do anything, just allows us to drop it. If we hover over it, it says the quality of the plant fiber, which is 6, and the quantity, which is 1. So we need 2 of them, so let's do it again. See if we get our second piece of plant fiber. Nothing. So we'll go again to another spot. And there's our second piece, which is the same quality, and now we have a quantity of 2. Okay. So the next thing that we need is 1 flintstone. Okay. So let's go find ourselves some flintstone. We can go to a rock area. I see rock right here. Right click it. Go to prospecting. Right click flintstone as default. And select. Let's see if we can find ourselves some flintstone. We need 1 piece. Okay, we got our first piece on our first try. Awesome. So if we right click it, all we can do is drop it. If we hover over it, it tells us what it is, the quality and the quantity, and the weight, of course. So now that we have the 3 pieces, the 3 different types of pieces that we need to create our tool, we go back to it, click primitive axe, and we click craft. Each thing takes a different duration of time to create. For a primitive axe, it seems like roughly about 5 to 10 seconds. 5 seconds most likely. We'll close it, and here is our axe. Now we can put this axe on 2 different ways. We can hit the T button, and we can just put it in one of these slots, any 4. Now these slots do not fit every type of item, but for this axe it can go in one of 4. So we'll just put it in our left arm, left hand. So he's putting it on, making himself look pretty, and now you can see it. It is right there. He's got it on his back, looking awesome as can be. And we are ready to go and use this primitive tool that we created for the first time. So like at the beginning, we tried to cut down the tree, it wouldn't allow us, we needed a hatchet. So we'll go back to the tree, click cut down, and now we can actually cut this tree down. Now the tree does fall, like normal, and there it is. That kind of graph glitched out of there. We didn't actually get to see it fall, which you can usually see. And here's our log, which has a timer of 2 minutes and 30 seconds on it when it first falls down, and that means that only I can pick that log up. No one else can pick it up until the timer is gone. So we can right click it and we can lift the object. Well, we can carry the object to wherever we want to go, and we can right click and drop the item. Place it however we want to place it. Hit place, and then it's placed. If we right click it, the only thing we can do is lift the object. We can't do anything else with it. So, well, think about it. An axe is only good for cutting down logs. It's not good for creating things out of logs. It's not good for, you know, burning things, or it's only good for cutting it down. So what do we need to cut down the softwood tree log? Well, we're going to need a saw. So let's go back to our primitive tool thing, which we do not have a branch, so we cannot get to that tool window. So let's go and get ourselves a branch real quick. Here's a tree. Snap a branch. Now we have our branch, right click it, create primitive tool. Now we need a saw. We need to do something with that wood log that we have. So it says that we need 3 branches, 7 flintstone, and 3 plant fibers. So we already have 1, so we need 2 branches more, flintstone, and then plant fiber. Okay, so let's go back up here, since this is where our stone is. Let's go ahead and turn up the settings for our brightness, because it is way too dark out here for us. And I'm not supposed to be walking on myself, but I hit unlock, so alright, we made it a little bit brighter out here for us. So let's get ourselves some flintstone. So here's our flintstone. We already have it as default. And we need 7 pieces of flintstone. Figured I would let him know what I'm doing, that way he doesn't think I'm just ignoring him. And let's get back to what we're doing real quick. Let's finish up this tutorial and then I will help him out the best I can afterward. So we have 2 pieces of flintstone, we need 5 more pieces. Now you might be wondering why that did not stack with that piece of flintstone. The reason why is if you hover over them, you see the quality. The quality is 4 on that flintstone, and if you bring it over here, the quality is 5. So that's a better grade flintstone than this. You can drop it on there, but then when you do that, it just brings it to the lower quality. The higher quality, I'm assuming you can create better items with. But we're only creating a small saw, so it will be okay.